Hi, my name's Byron Spence. I'm a functional movement specialist. I work with a lot of athletes of varying abilities from amateur through to pro level, triathletes, Ironmen, runners and cyclists. I take them all through a functional movement screen, which is an assessment to look at their dysfunction, their inefficient movement patterns that may be. What we find, I'm going to share with you guys for a series of videos to hopefully help you, make you more efficient, make you stronger on the bike and off the bike. If you have any questions or issues arise from the videos, then do feel free to contact me via the details below. This week we're going to talk about ankle mobility. I work with a lot of athletes with the FMS screening, and what we find is ankle mobility is really compromised for a lot of athletes. It's the main contact for your pedal, so delivering that power is really important on a nice stable base. Ankle mobility comes into that because once we lose our mobility, we really compromise the delivery of our strength into the pedals. When we have a restriction at our ankle joint, or any joint for that matter, it really impacts on the strength, neuromuscular strength that we have and allowance to that limb. So when we compromise our ankle joint mobility, we really have a decrease in the power output, which can really affect our performance. Hi, what we're going to look at next is an example of what we would do with our athletes in terms of the FMS. So the first movement pattern is the overhead squat. So I'm going to get myself into that shape, won't go into too much of the details, but we'll get our athletes into that shape and we'll get them to perform the overhead squat. So taking the bar overhead and getting them to maintain that. Now when we go through the squat, what we generally find is we have quite a forward lean for most of our athletes. Not always, but what we find is that's what generally happens. Now when they're performing that squat, nothing dramatically improves, even through repetitions, so their movement pattern is stuck in that shape. What we do is we raise the heels slightly just to take the ankles out of the equation, and then what we generally see most of the time is the movement dramatically improves. So we get a good depth, we keep a good upper body thoracic area as we perform the movement, opposed to the original start point where we're excessively flexing forwards, shifting our body weight forwards, and equally not achieving a great depth. So to summarize, raising the heels takes the ankles out of the equation. So we really understand that actually the problem's at the ankle joint. If we take the ankles out of the equation, the movement dramatically improves. So we know there's a mobility issue at the ankle joint, and that's where we need to focus our time to start off with. So a couple of things that you could do on top of this is sports massage, or you could do lots of foam rolling to really help loosen the ankle joint up and the muscles around the ankle joint, more importantly. These are a couple of exercises that really I do get a lot of athletes to do as just a general maintenance, really, as many times as they possibly can. So we can use that, that'll come up in a second. So sitting ourselves back onto our heels, so really stretching the kind of anterior capsule, the ankle joint itself, really trying to get ourselves to force us into that real extension through the front of the ankle joint itself. So if this is a bit too easy, some people struggle to get into this position for various reasons or injuries. The second option is to, again, raise the feet up, just so we create a little bit of a gap and we can help just alleviate and push our body weight through that area. We're not going to really drive down aggressively into it, but we just want to sit in that position. Again, 30 to 60 seconds is adequate, especially if we're repeating this on a number base each day. So we're really trying to just affect that range at the front of the ankle joint. So that's the first one that I really like to kind of go through. It really does help gain that mobility in that direction. Now the opposite direction, along with the foam rolling, like I said, we can come up onto a step. So from that position, so we'll just keep that nice and still. From that position, we'll come up onto the step, and you can use any sort of step, a staircase, stairs, anywhere. So from there, we're going to just drop the heel through. So I'm going to keep most of the weight on that supporting leg, but you're just going to eccentrically, so just as we stretch, we're going to load through that back leg and just get a little bit of a stretch. And notice that the ankle joint is dropping below the toes, okay? And that's what we ideally want. We're going to assist with this leg on the way back up, so we're not pushing from that point. And then we're going to drop again, back through, really getting a good stretch hopefully through the calf area and the back of the body. So we can vary this by softening the knee, localizing the sort of soleus area, Achilles area, if we want to, depending on the sore spots we have, or just as an addition. We'd work through sort of 10 movements up and down, really stretching through that calf area on each leg. Repeating that if you felt you wanted to, but also you could look at doing that a couple of times a day if we're really struggling with our ankle mobility. Enjoy!